SwaggerGuru.com presents Scary Food Facts. Warning, do not listen if you are easily grossed out by what you put into your body. Our goal is not to antagonize the squeamish. Our goal is to share information. There is some adult content in this piece. Kids and prudes, do not listen. If this content is beneficial to you, like, comment, subscribe, share it with a friend, and hit the notification bell. When you like our content, it helps people find our content. Thank you for your support. We appreciate you. In the 1992 Robin Williams movie, Toys, we are not saying you should watch the movie. The movie was panned by critics and audiences. You have been warned. A scene that stands out in the movie is a scene by rapper, actor LL Cool J. LL Cool J played the character Captain Patrick Zevo. This is a quote from Captain Patrick Zevo. "I can't even eat. The food keeps touching. I like military plates. I'm a military man. I want a military meal. I want my string beans to be quarantined. I like a little fortress around my mashed potatoes so the meatloaf doesn't invade my mashed potatoes and cause mixing in my plate. I hate it when food touches. I'm a military man. You understand that? And don't let your food touch either. Please." End quote. There is a link to the movie scene in the video description. We reference this scene to say, as addressed on the Inc.com website, germophobia and obsessive-compulsive habits are common in charismatic, successful leaders. Obsessive-compulsive disorder is a serious mental illness. Obsessive habits are sometimes traits of perfectionists. Before Howard Hughes completely isolated himself from society, he hired several servants to ensure his meals were as clean as possible. According to some reports, Hughes demanded that his utensils be wrapped in plastic and then handled with tissues before he would use them for a meal. Steve Jobs was a vegan and would eat one type of food, such as apples or carrots, for weeks at a time, believing that his vegan eating habits were pure, healthy, and kept him free of body odor. As reported in Walter Isaacson's biography of Jobs, he once ate so many carrots that his skin turned bright orange. George Washington Carver, African-American agricultural scientist and inventor known for developing hundreds of products using peanuts, is credited for discovering the value of oil and protein found in soybeans. This brings us to the founder of the Ford Motor Company, Henry Ford. Henry Ford was a vegetarian. Ford's diet consisted largely of roadside grains, vegetables, and weeds that he would harvest himself and prepare as salads or as parts of sandwiches. Ford was one of soy milk's most ardent champions. He believed the cow was the crudest machine in the world, a slow and filthy way of making milk. He stated, "It is a simple matter to take the same cereals that the cows eat and make them into a milk, which is superior to the natural article and much cleaner." End quote. He believed, why not skip the middleman and get the milk directly from beans? Ford was deeply invested, personally and financially, in a soybean future. He owned hundreds of acres of soybean fields and funded extensive research into new industrial uses for soy oils and meals. In 1941, Ford made a car from a soy-based plastic resin. It was lightweight and fuel efficient. However, when the United States entered World War II, production of the soybean plastic car was discontinued. Today, soybeans are still used by Ford Motor Company. More than 32,000 soybeans are used to make some of the 300 pounds of plastic that go into every Ford vehicle. Knowledge is power. The more information you have, the better prepared you are to make educated decisions. Knowledge is the currency for your memory bank. As actor and spoken word artist Malcolm Jamal Warner says on his project, Hiding in Plain View, on the Selection Master Magicians, being broke is pretty damn expensive. End quote. To paraphrase the theoretical physicist Albert Einstein, I don't need to know everything. I just need to know where to find it when I need it. When someone says, I'm going to eat what my ancestors ate, you're not eating what your ancestors ate. How many generations do you want to go back? Our ancestors didn't have non-stick pans that leak harmful chemicals into our water supplies and into our food. Our ancestors didn't have the cheaper to manufacture high fructose corn syrup used as a replacement for table sugar, also known as granulated sugar, made from sugar cane and sugar beets. And our ancestors didn't have food made from GMOs, genetically modified organisms. Non-stick pans were introduced in the United States in 1961. High fructose corn syrup was first marketed in the early 1970s. The first GMO produce created through genetic engineering, a GMO tomato, became available for sale in 1994. Throughout the 90s, the first wave of GMO produce created through genetic engineering became available to consumers, including summer squash, soybeans, cotton, corn, papayas, tomatoes, potatoes, and canola. Non-stick pans released in 1961. High fructose corn syrup marketed in the early 1970s. GMO foods first released throughout the 90s. According to the cancer.gov website, cancer prevalence was 3.7 million in the United States population in 1975. Cancer prevalence was 18.1 million in the United States population in 2022. And cancer prevalence is projected to be 26 million in the United States population in 2040. We are not saying any of these factors are related. These are the numbers. This is information. We haven't even touched on the subjects of how fast food is made, pesticides, growth hormones, and antibiotics. From our research, moderation is the key. Organic whole food should be the foundation of your food pyramid. According to a British study of more than 8,000 men and women aged 30 whose IQs had been measured when they were 10, the higher the IQ, the greater the odds of being a vegetarian. Children with high IQs are more likely to be vegetarians when they grow up. When someone asks, "What is your love language?" we believe a great companion question should be, "What is your food language?" You can learn a multitude of things about a person and their culture by learning the foods that a person does or does not put into their body. If you ask two people what are romantic aphrodisiac foods, one person may say oysters, chocolate-covered strawberries, and champagne. The other person may say a New York-style pizza and a cold beer. Different food languages for something that most people do every day. Customs change, lifestyles change. If you are African American, you have to know that the foods that your ancestors ate, aka soul food, were prepared because of necessity. The fact is, the majority of our ancestors were given scraps and then lived in poverty. So they took what they had and did the best that they could to make edible, tasty dishes that their family and friends would enjoy. This brings us to the glizzy. Oh, you don't know what the glizzy is? The glizzy is many things. One of the things is a hot dog. The history of the slang word glizzy, depending on who you speak to, it is a type of Pig Latin pizzazz to say gun, or some say the pizzazz is used to say the name of a brand of gun, a Glock. The term has been used this way for over 20 years. In 2016, a video was uploaded to YouTube exposing the fact that in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area, glizzy was also a slang term for a hot dog because the length of the barbecue staple is similar to the extended clip of a gun. Since this video was uploaded, the term glizzy has been used to reference a hot dog nationwide. Like the song, I Know an Old Lady Who Swallowed a Fly, the slang term goes deeper. Pause. No pun intended, because of the similarity of the hot dog to a gun clip and the phallic nature of a hot dog. The term is also a slang term for a part of the male anatomy, leading to some young men not eating hot dogs, cutting hot dogs into pieces, eating a hot dog from the side, or turning away so their male companions cannot see them take a bite. Or they risk being called a glizzy gobbler, a glizzy gladiator, or a glizzy wizard. The interesting part about this scary food fact is some young men will not eat hot dogs to prevent being called a name. But the World Health Organization has linked sodium nitrite, a common preservative used in processed meats, including hot dogs, to cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. But most people don't seem to care. There you go. Picking on meat eaters. Not at all. Do what you enjoy. Moderation is most likely the best way to go. Here are some more scary food facts from the website organicauthority.com. These facts are from the FDA's defect level handbook. The handbook states exactly how much food contamination is acceptable. Canned pineapple can pack in up to 20% moldy fruit. Frozen broccoli must have an average of no more than 60 aphids or thrips or mites per 100 grams. Oregano can legally contain up to 1,250 insect fragments per 10 grams. Peanut butter can contain 1 rodent hair per 100 grams. Cinnamon can carry up to 1 milligram of animal excrement per pound. Berries can harbor up to 4 larvae per 100 grams. Up to 10% of canned asparagus can harbor asparagus beetles or egg sacs. As much as 5% of your maraschino cherries can legally contain maggots. Tomato paste is considered bad only if more than 45% contains mold. Chocolate is tainted when it averages 60 or more insect fragments per 100 grams. Eat well, swagger soldiers. Feed your minds, your bodies, and your souls. If this content was beneficial to you, like, comment, subscribe, share it with a friend, and hit the notification bell. When you like our content, it helps people find our content. Thank you for your support. We appreciate you.